Hello and welcome to GC360, your source for the latest news and stories from the heart of our community and beyond. I'm Madelyn Agostini and we have a packed show for you today.
And I'm Haley Tucker. Whether you're a student, faculty member, or someone interested in what's happening in our community, GC360 is here to keep you informed and engaged. Coming up,
city leaders and locals took to City Hall for discussing housing crisis in Milledgeville.
The government shutdown could leave millions uncertain about their next food payment.
Business students are turning classroom lessons into real-world success at Georgia College. On Wednesday, November 12th, a committee from the House of Representatives released documents obtaining emails exchanged from Jeffrey Epstein and his former wife, reporters, and other influential friends. According to the Associated Press, 3 emails about President Trump were handpicked by Democratic representatives claiming Trump knew about Epstein's crimes before conviction. Epstein also refers to Trump in another email as, quote, the dog that hasn't barked, end quote. In addition to this, Epstein told his former companion that Trump had, quote, spent hours at my house, end quote, with an alleged victim. More updates to come. In other news, the government shutdown has officially come to an end after a record-breaking 43 days. This shutdown created significant financial stress for government employees who went weeks without paychecks. This shutdown also heavily affected air travel to the effect that over 1,500 flights out of Atlanta Hartsfield-Jackson Airport were canceled. Now that the shutdown has finally concluded, operations are returning to normal, but flights remain at a 6% reduction rate as air traffic employees return to work. Furthermore, the shutdown is expected to harm the already struggling economy for months to come. Chief economist at the Navy Federal Credit Union saying, quote, the shutdown has been harmful to the U.S. economy and to critical data collection about employment, prices, and more, end quote. Make sure to stay tuned for further updates.
Milledgeville residents took to City Hall last week to protest the state of housing in our area. Our assistant assignment news editor, Isabella Turner, was on the scene.
Milledgeville residents gathered at the City Hall to bring attention to the housing crisis. Georgia College alumni Tony Cofield spoke at the meeting as a representative of the Baldwin County Listening Project, a group of renters who are concerned about the safety and equality of housing.
So the first thing that we've done is that we've gone around to different rental properties and surveyed different renters, asking them about their experiences as renters and how they feel about their landlords, how they feel about rent prices, and a lot of people have had very negative, feelings about not just their own situations, but also situations that people that they know in Milledgeville are going through.
During his speech, Tony focused on the stark difference in housing options available to students as opposed to locals. As a student and now local resident, Cofield has experienced firsthand the difficulty of the renting process.
Once I was no longer a student and working in anything in academia, it became a lot harder to find housing options.
That's really interesting.
Because there are places that will just straight up tell you, no, you can't live here because you're not a student. Or no, you can't live here where this is income-based housing and I make just too much in order to live there. And so it's a very glaring issue.
Just outside the City Hall, protesters gathered in support of the Baldwin County Listening Project, but the support looked different within the walls of the meeting.
A lot has been said about things being taken into consideration, and we'll be looking into this. But at the end of the day, what we see being done is not stuff being done for Milledgeville locals, but stuff done for tourists and students. And so that's the actual action that we're seeing, is that City Council cares more about tourists, students, and profit. Yeah.
I spoke with Milledgeville resident Michaela Reed about her personal experience finding housing as a student versus postgrad.
It was more difficult for my situation. I was looking for something that wasn't yearly on the lease. I wanted something that had a more flexible lease. I wasn't sure how long I was going to be in Milledgeville, so I was looking for something 3 or 6 months. And as far as I know, where I'm at right now is the only option I have that let me do a 6-month lease. So, but as far as price changes, this is probably the most expensive place I've rented, but the student housing that I was at for the last few semesters before I moved into where I am now offered me a deal.
People like Tony remind us to be the change we want to see. He encourages everyone to vote and stay informed about policies, even if you don't think they'll affect you. Reporting for GC360, I'm Isabella Turner.
While the government shutdown was active, millions of Americans were left wondering about the state of their SNAP food benefits. Reporter Tori Siegel has the story.
The acronym SNAP stands for Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. It is a U.S. federally funded program that provides monthly benefits to low-income households. Due to the government shutdown, the Trump administration has rolled back on SNAP benefits starting November 1st. I spoke with Georgia College professor Kevin Spann to find out more.
Congress has to issue about 12 spending bills every year for all the different areas of the government. And because of the shutdown, no budget has been passed. So the reserve funds that fund all this stuff like SNAP, the bank accounts have literally hit zero. Now Congress argues that we planned for this in advance and there are some emergency funds available. And the Trump administration is arguing that we should not have to empty those reserve funds for this. These reserve funds should be for a different emergency. So there's been back and forth over whether this funding can be used for SNAP or not.
With the poverty rate reaching 40%, Milledgeville's community relies heavily on these federally funded programs. I attempted to speak with a local resident about it, but due to the political polarization of the topic, they declined to comment.
Fourth, it sure seems like the reserve fund should be going toward them, but there's been some back and forth with the current administration. Okay. There's a deal pending before Congress. Maybe this will be reversed in time for next month. Okay. And hopefully food banks received enough donations to get people through this month.
I'm Tori Siegel, reporting for GC360 News.
Business students at GCSU have started a tie-dye shirt business as a way to support your favorite Bobcat sports teams. Reporter Lucy DeBouchera has more.
Georgia College's business students started a small business to help support the GCSU athletic department. Students hand tie-dyed shirts to sell by tabling on campus during the afternoon.
Because I thought the important thing was it had to be hands-on. So the students said, yeah, let's do this. It's labor intensive to do the tie-dye. And we needed more time to get the word out and build it up and promote it. But nevertheless, we're down to the last 20 some odd shirts, I think.
Business students were able to learn how to run a business through this immersive experience.
So far, I think we've learned how it takes a lot of organization and pre-planning in order to set up a business in general, as well as needing to know the target demographic you're working with. We've had to make a few adjustments to our original plans in order to be able to sell more shirts, such as reducing the price and focusing on certain colors that are more popular with our demographic, which, would be like blue and green.
This experience allowed GCSU students to put their professional skills to work in a hands-on scenario.
The students have learned some lessons which you'd never learn in a textbook. For example, simple things like passivity is punished severely. You have to be, I wouldn't say, the word assertive would have the wrong connotations, but you have to take the initiative.
Students managed to sell out most shirt sizes, finalizing the end of a successful business run. Reporting for GC360, this is Lucy DeBouchera.
Coming up after the break, an alumni from GCSU is finding solutions to preserve Georgia's wildlife.
A mass communications student took the mic at last week's Time Talk.
And taking a look at the upcoming week's weather. All this and more after the break.
Eric Griffiths. I am the interim chair of the Department of Theater and Dance. Our general mission, of course, is teaching theater artists, actors, designers, technicians. Of course, students will specialize in certain areas, but they will know if an actor leaves here and that is their goal is to perform, they will also know how to hang a light. They will know how to sew a button on a costume. They have these other skills. So we offer kind of a mix of the soft skills and the hard skills for doing the work. Our goal is to create a well-rounded theater artist that knows a little bit about everything that goes into producing theater.
From the classrooms of GCSU to the front lines of conservation, alumni Houston Chandler is protecting our most vulnerable. Reporter Allie Reams has the story.
Students around the United States are encouraged to attend college in order to pursue their dreams, and students here at GCSU are here for that reason. Today, I'm going to take a closer look into GCSU's biology and environmental science majors to see how they help students achieve their dreams. Biology and environmental science students work hard academically, but they do so with passion. The biology and environmental science departments offer different ways for students to dive deeper into their major through clubs or studying abroad. Here is what biology major Emily Marconi had to say about her club involvement here on campus, saying, quote, "I am involved in the STEM club, pre-med, and pre-PA club." I spoke more with Emily and environmental science major Cami Cooper to get their thoughts on how GCSU academics and clubs help promote their success.
Well, recently the classes that I've taken that are major specific include my study abroad in the Bahamas and adaptations to the aquatic environment, which have really helped me apply a lot of the knowledge that I have learned, whether it's outside the classroom or inside the classroom, to various subjects. For example, in adaptations to the aquatic environment, we are going over many different research articles and connecting those articles to what we're going to be learning in future articles.
This success that Cami and Emily are experiencing here at GCSU now can help them succeed in their respective majors post-graduation. An example of post-graduation success I discussed with Emily and Cami was GCSU alumni Houston Chandler. Houston graduated GCSU in 2012 with a degree in biology and environmental science. Very recently, Houston has worked hard in the conservation of reptiles and amphibians. Throughout his career, he has managed to gain $3 million in grant funding. Here is what Cami had to say about his success.
The fact that this alumni was able to get $3 million worth of grants is just super cool, because I can imagine coming from a high school or college senior here to going to the real world and applying everything that I've learned from Georgia College and all of that knowledge and research and time and effort of eventually growing into something as big as this. I think it's just very inspiring, and it makes me excited for what could come in my future.
GCSU is full of opportunities to jumpstart any successful career, and alumni Houston Chandler has set a prime example for biology and environmental science students. This is Allie Reams reporting for GC360.
A GCSU student recently used Times Talk as an opportunity to speak out about the dangers of phone addiction in younger generations. Anchor Olivia Blanton has more.
Junior Mass Communications major Addison Smith hosted a Times Talk on October 29th titled, "Can You Quit TikTok?" Times Talks are held weekly to create on-campus conversations about current events and issues reported by the New York Times. Campus and community members are invited to attend. I asked Addison why she chose to speak on the topic of phone addiction.
I think it's gotten to a point where it's so normalized that procrastination is it's very normalized in the society, where it's like, oh, well, I can just put it off until tomorrow and then I can scroll for 3 hours. And I think that also plays into mental health, with eventually you get to a point where you're so stressed where it's like you can't do anything because you have gotten to a point where it's like all you want to do is just scroll. Like, yeah, I mean, even your fingers like just have that muscle memory memorized where it's like, what else am I supposed to do? Like, I don't want to do homework. I'm just gonna scroll on TikTok. And like, I've been guilty of that. Like, I've put off schoolwork to just go on social media.
In the discussion, Smith mentioned how student AI usage has contributed to this addiction, claiming that due to the extensive use of social media, AI is used to complete student assignments.
And I think it does have a huge impact on academics. And even just like, we've gotten lazier with, like, we know now, I think this also plays into social media. People know that they can scroll on social media because of AI usage. So they can get away with that kind of stuff.
I'm Olivia Blanton, reporting for GC360. Back to you.
I'm hoping for some clear skies ahead. I've been wanting to go on a nice stroll soon. Let's take a look at this week's weather with Olivia Blanton.
Good afternoon, Bobcats, and welcome to today's weather report. We hope that you are having a wonderful semester so far, as the cold front's brisk air blows in. This week we'll have little to no chances of rain, so now's the time to fully enjoy the last bits of the warm sunshine and beautiful fall foliage. Tomorrow will be a beautiful sunny day with a high of 71 and a low of 44. This is the perfect weather to hit downtown to try Blackbird's new winter drink menu. Saturday, the sun will keep on shining with a high of 74 and a low of 45. If you're excited for the holiday season, Saturday's evenings, cool weather is the perfect time to stay in, bundle up, and watch a holiday classic. Sunday will be slightly cloudy with a high of 74 and a low of 54. Monday starts another week full of opportunities here on campus, with sunny skies to keep things comfortable with the cool breeze blowing in. Monday will bring a high of 73 and a low of 50. Clear skies await us this Tuesday with a high of 75 and a low of 51. On Wednesday, cloudy skies will aid in keeping things cool. The high for the day is 74 with a low of 57. And then one last day in the 70s before temps will continue to drop, with Thursday bringing cloudy skies and a 45% chance of rain. Temperatures will drop with a high of 67 and a low of 56. That's it for this week's weather, Bobcats. We hope you have a fantastic rest of your week. Back to you, Madelyn and Haley.
Coming up after the break.
Creativity was taking over Milledgeville last month with Arttober.
Then we'll pass it over to sports and see what's happening in their field.
Your vote could bring your favorite artist to the big stage.
Exciting news is happening over in entertainment. All this and more after the break.
I'm Eric Griffiths. I am the interim chair of the Department of Theater and Dance. Our general mission, of course, is teaching theater artists, actors, designers, technicians. Of course, students will specialize in certain areas, but they will know, if an actor leaves here, and that is their goal is to perform, they will also know how to hang a light. They will know how to sew a button on a costume. They have these other skills. So we offer kind of a mix of the soft skills and the hard skills for doing the work. Our goal is to create a well-rounded theater artist that knows a little bit about everything that goes into producing theater.
A celebration of art, music, and creative writing brought all of the creativity to GCSU. Arttober was a chance for students of the arts and sciences to highlight their passions. Reporter Makai Scarborough has the story.
I'm Makai Scarborough, presenting you Georgia College's annual display of liberal arts, Arttober. Here, we host a showcase of many different art mediums like dance, film, photography, music, and more. I spoke with Dr. Erin and Dr. Carrie Neville on what they love about the event.
Well, I tell you what, it's the student presentations and what the students are doing. This is amazing to see the different departments, communication, art, theater and dance, and music, and see you guys, the students, and how you are being highlighted in this event. and I'm amazed by the creativity that is on display here. I also want to give a push to Dr. Neville, who's just published a book. I encourage you all to go out and read it, maybe even buy it.
I would appreciate that, but my favorite part actually is beyond the presentations, is just wandering around the hallways and watching the students getting ready to perform, whether they're painting, whether they're practicing dance, whether they're practicing music down at the other end. It feels like this is what the liberal arts is about.
As the name suggests, I made my way down to the art department where I met with Professor Valerie Aranda. She said her favorite part about Arttober is...
Besides the ice cream? Besides the ice cream, I would say just being able to see, the different areas do their performances, or we have the jazz band, sax quartet playing, and we have a painter downstairs, Hayden Bryant, a former art student. So it's just like the whole intersection of, different departments coming together, different majors, students from different majors, and just like the whole excitement and energy,
I am beyond excited to be able to share some of those Arttober festivities with you all. It's been Makai Scarborough with GC360.
From gambling scandals to head coach removals, we bring you the latest from a chaotic week of sports. Anchor Ava Flores has more.
That's right, Haley. The MLB has announced new gambling safeguards after 2 players from the Cleveland Guardians were indicted in betting scandal. According to CNN, 2 pitchers were participating in a scheme to rig bets. All MLB-authorized gaming operators will cap wagers on pitch-level markets at $200 and exclude those bets from parlays, MLB said. Emmanuel Class and Luis Ortiz have maintained their innocence through their lawyers. Moving to football, the New York Giants fire head coach Brian Daboll, who was fired following the Giants' 24-20 defeat against the Chicago Bears. Daboll was hired as head coach in 2022 after being the offensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. He ended his time with the Giants with a 20-41 record in the regular season. Mike Kafka, the Giants' offensive coordinator, will take over as interim head coach. Finally, moving to Bobcat sports, Lorena Kazora, who was on the women's cross-country team, was named Player of the Week. For our volleyball team, their senior day game was a nail-biter, ending in a 5-set victory over the University of South Carolina Aiken Pacers. As for our women's soccer team, they went into the Peach Belt Conference as the 4th-seeded team. Sadly, they lost in Peach Belt quarterfinals against the Flagler College Saints 1-0. On Friday, November 14th, the men's basketball team will kick off their season against Shorter University. The team will have their first home game on November 25th at 3:30 against Thomas. Make sure you mark your calendars so you can show up and be loud. Hope you enjoyed this week's sports. Back to you, anchors.
The Spring Concert Survey recently went live, giving an opportunity for students to make sure they get to see their favorite artists. Later this spring, reporter Whitney Welch has the story.
Georgia College prepares for its annual spring concert set to take place this coming March. The spring concert revealed several popular artists in the running to perform live at the event, including Role Model, TV Girl, and Zach Top. Senior student Caitlin Hall shares her thoughts on the upcoming concert and the artists featured in the survey.
I think the artist that I'm most excited to see this year is Flip Turn. I listened to them a little bit, and then the only other artist that I really recognized, I think, was Cat's Eye. I'm not a really big country music listener, so I don't know a lot of the country music, and I also don't really listen to rap, so a lot of the people that they get on the thing is tailored to other people's music tastes. But I think Flip Turn, and if somehow they were able to get Cat's Eye, I think that would be really cool.
I spoke with student engagement faculty Sarah Gudelman, who has organized the past 2 spring concerts. She explains that the concert gives the students something to look forward to outside of academics and the opportunity to have their say in selecting who performs.
Okay, so obviously all students are here for their academics, but it's also about personal and professional development. The spring concert is a big opportunity for students across campus to have their input and have an event literally put on for them and their needs of what they want to see. So I just think it's an important event to have to round out the school year, along with giving students something outside of academics.
Junior student Liliana Gillies gives reasons why students should go to the next year's spring concert, especially if they have never been before.
It's really fun. It's a really good way to like spend time with your friends at the end of second semester, and also it's a really good deal because I don't know if you could get Wallows tickets for last year for $20 anywhere else.
As Georgia College prepares for another spring concert, students and staff alike are looking forward to seeing which artists will take stage this March. Reporting from GC360, I'm Whitney Welch.
You see my baby up and hit the road, and she's going us where nobody knows. She's being invited for another man does. She wouldn't want him to steal my love. I'm just trying to be cool, cool, cool. What you expect me to do? Don't you think that was an award-winning performance?
Well, I think we should ask Reagan since she's all about entertainment this week. Reagan?
Thanks. That was definitely something. Sadly for you, Madelyn, it won't be getting a Grammy this year, as nominations list is already out. Some notable nominations include Kendrick Lamar with 9 nominations, and Lady Gaga has beaten her previous record of 6 nominations in 1 year by getting 7 this year. And artists Leon Thomas, Sabrina Carpenter, and Bad Bunny are all tied with 6 nominations. While the Grammys aren't until February 1st, it's still exciting to see who's nominated. And recently, it has come out that Kim Kardashian has failed the bar exam. I guess there's some things that money and status can't buy you. But I believe with some perseverance and hard work, she can pass if she truly believes she can. Now, on to the topic of something a little more hot. This week's weather. Just kidding. This is even hotter. People magazine just announced the 2025 winner for Sexiest Man Alive, Jonathan Bailey. GC360 was sure excited about this announcement. He is People's first openly gay man chosen for the title. He's known for his roles in Bridgerton and Wicked. Congrats, Jonathan Bailey. Speaking of Wicked, the second part, Wicked for Good, is coming out next week, and fans are counting down the days until it hits the box office. Starring Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo, make sure to catch Wicked 2 while you're at home for Thanksgiving, because Milledgeville no longer has a movie theater. Next, Stranger Things fans rejoice with the confirmation of Millie Bobby Brown and David Harbour's beef being squashed. Daily Mail reported news of a lawsuit that Millie Bobby Brown filed against Harbour, but after the reuniting of the two on the red carpet, it's clear that this was false news. I'm equally excited by this news as I am to see the first part of Stranger Things finale on Thanksgiving Day. Finally, just 2 short weeks, I can't wait to be watching the 2025 Thanksgiving Parade with guests like Meg Donnelly, Radio City Rockettes, Shaggy, and Tiana Taylor. It's sure to be a good one. Thanks, that's all I have for entertainment this week. Sorry again, Madelyn, that we won't see you at the Grammys next year. Back to you.
Thanks, Reagan. I'll try again for the 2027 Grammys. And that's all for GC360 this week, Bobcats. Thank you for joining us today, and make sure you tune in next Thursday at 4 p.m. on NBC TV4 through the Cablecast app. I'm Madelyn Agostini.
And I'm Haley Tucker. When we're not on the air, we keep you up to date on our social media. That's at GC360 News on Instagram and YouTube, and at bobcatmultimedia.com/GC360. Always available to you where news comes full circle. See you next week.